Hey there, Jennifer DeClaire here to help you build a lawyer life that you're absolutely in love with. Now, I help law school graduates to pass the bar exam by focusing on mindset only. And now we have a growing specialty in helping these mindset first attorneys build lovely lawyer lives. And this one topic has been demanded, and so we bring it. How to feel good about going for that dream job, even if you are an inexperienced attorney. To feel confident applying for your dream job despite lack of experience, you need to know what you bring to the table and put that front and center. Bosses, hiring managers, people who are interviewing you, they're entrepreneurs first. Either they are taking the reins and managing their own career, meaning they know who to impress, they know what work needs to get done, they know what assignments that they need to be chosen for so that they can display their skill and their aptitude and be awarded even juicier assignments. So they're taking control of their career and they know who they want to bring in who can help them to get where they want. Or you're talking to the actual owner of, or partner of the firm, and they're really crunching dollar signs at this moment. This is more than just money. There's an aspect that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to people who are hiring you. Will you being on this team help me sleep better at night? Really and truly, at the end of the day, when there is an opening in a firm, it's because there's work that needs to be done that's not being done. Or I am doing all of the work myself and it's not sustainable. I need someone to take it off my plate, but I need to trust that they're going to do as good a job with it as I would have. Or there is somebody in this position, but they are lackluster, right? And their subpar work is being noticed, even though we don't say anything. And we haven't said anything because we're quietly looking for somebody to replace them with, because something is better than nothing, but we're not going to settle for that forever. We're only dealing with that until our time is freed up to go interview new people to replace that person with. That's what's happening when there's a job opening. Okay. So that being said, your value now, even if you don't have experience, because there are people who have experience who are still going to get booted out of the job because they're lacking the three things that I'm about to give you. Number one, first and foremost, when you come to a law firm, you're going to make their lives easier because you're going to get work done that they don't have time to do, or that's stressing them out to try to get done, or that somebody else is doing so poorly that it's actually increasing the workload rather than making it better. You're going to get work done. You're going to make their lives easier. They're going to be able to rest better at night knowing that this is done. How do you ensure that you're going to be able to do a good job on something even if you don't know anything about it? This is where the hard work part comes in for you because it's a learning curve. You are going to have to dedicate a few more hours, but it's going to be smart hours. You work smarter, not harder. Why? You're going to tell your prospective employer this. You research all the aspects that you need to get the job done. You identify where my gaps are. And when I've looked for the information, I can't find it, I make sure to clarify it before I dive in and dedicate the 24, 48, 36 hours, however long that it's going to take to get this job done. That way, I ensure that at the end of this assignment, when I've completed it, it is exactly what you were looking for. Because everybody knows that no one has all the answers. And if you sit there and try to pretend that you're going to have all the answers and you're going to know it and you're going to get it all done, that does not inspire trust. It's better for a person to know that you know where to look. You have resources. You have people to call if need be. And you know how to know what you don't know. And you will ask that question. They don't want you knocking on their door every other hour, but they do want to know that you will grab a quick 15 minutes to clarify some questions with them and then go back and do a knockout job on the assignment. Or when they give it to you, you will brief them back. You will let them know, okay, so you're looking for X, Y, and Z, so that we can X, Y, Z, and Z. This lets them know that you understand the objective of the assignment that they just gave you. Also allows you a chance to clarify right off the bat before you even leave the office. Once you've left the office, you've left their room, wherever they were assigning you this thing, research all the different aspects and then get your questions together in one space and then ask them those questions. They are really happy to answer you those questions, knowing that you're then going to take the answers to those questions, and create a wonderful work product. Knowing how to work is your advantage when you're an inexperienced lawyer. This actually makes up for lack of knowledge in the subject matter. It really does. Because a lot of people may know something about the subject matter, but may know nothing about prioritizing work or any of those other things. And in fact, people look for experience to counterbalance most people's inability to work smarter, not harder. Because they figure if you've been learning it for 2 years, you already know the answers to all these simple questions, and that makes up for what the new person would do, which is either pester me every other hour with new questions or write a whole brief or memo on something that's only tangentially related to the real heart of the matter. And so people look for experience to balance that out. But if you have the skill of being able to know what you don't know, find out what gaps in knowledge exist, and then go fill in those gaps quickly, you may need to work a little bit harder than most to get it all done in time, but at least you know what to do in order to get from point A to point B. This balances out the inexperience equation, okay? The second thing is making the life easier of the person that is hiring you. So you do that by, one, working smarter, not harder. You receive the assignment to clarify your questions. You get a really great work product done. You also do that by putting yourself in their shoes and foreseeing where it is that they're headed with this project. If they gave you a memo, research memo, do they intend to turn that into a pleading or a brief? If you know that, or you can foresee that, or you can ask them that, then you can guide your work towards that end, or even volunteer to take it that next step. If they are someone who runs around from meeting to meeting, needing to answer questions, people want updates right away, they need to justify how this case took a wrong turn, are you able to supply them? If you're given an assignment that includes briefing them on the facts or giving them the latest updates or the docket entries on the case, are you able to supply them with the bottom line so that they have the information that they need to be armed with walking into that meeting? And are you able to do that in a succinct fashion that makes their life easier? If you have an attorney that's flying in and out of the city and needs to be in court tomorrow, and you're supposed to prepare documents for them, did you prepare all these documents or the hearing binder or whatever it is and leave it on their desk, supposing that they're going to come in from their late night flight, go to the office, pick up the stuff, and then go to court? Or did you get all that stuff ready for them and make sure it got delivered to their home? Whatever that may entail. Okay. So when you propose that, when you present the aura of someone who makes the life easier, who takes the load off your shoulders, who allows you to rest well at night, knowing that this is going to get done, this is going to get done. You know, I'll do whatever it takes, it's going to get done. This puts people's minds at ease to the point where they will consider hiring you over hiring the person who may have more experience, but is also more entitled, who is not going to hit the ground running and be eager to please. Makes a difference. Okay, so that's one way, one other aspect of the benefits that you bring when you are an inexperienced attorney. The other benefit that you bring is if you know how to be accountable and take responsibility. Mistakes, grammatical errors, things that spell checker missed, things being out of order, something being missing from the binder. All these are mistakes that you do not want to commit. There are also mistakes that you're going to be responsible to catch if somebody else preparing the stuff for you commits. So if you outsource work to the paralegal, for example, and they bring you back something, it really is up to you to catch any errors in their work. Okay. Now, once you've caught the errors in their work and your own, you turn that over to now the person that you're supporting. They armed with everything they need to look great in front of the client or the judge, now proceed to do their work. But if something backfires and it rolls downhill, you need to roll with the punches. And yeah, I see that. Right. Nope. Won't happen again. I've got a plan to make sure that that does not happen again. You don't have to worry about that. Right. But you take ownership and you move on. These things are easily overlooked as long as it's not a pattern of your work, because that just means you just do subpar work. But they're easily overlooked in the grand scheme of things. If you ensure that you're treating that case like it's your own, that you take care of that thing like it's your baby, that the win or the loss falls on you, which it does. You may not be the name on the case, right? There may be another attorney who is the name on the case. But if you act like you care as if you were the name on the case, that other attorney is going to be able to rely on you. And we all want reliable help. We all want to feel supported. We all want to be able to shut the laptop and go to sleep at night, knowing that when I wake up, things will be done. I will receive the base product that I need in order to create my work product. So if I'm asking for a memo and I'm expecting it in the morning, because I know that that gives me X number of hours to draft my pleading and get that pleading off to wherever it needs to go. When I wake up in the morning, I want to see a wonderful memo. I want to see it decked out with every piece of information that I need so I can just plug and play into my pleading and move on with it. That's what I want to see, right? And what this does is it tells me I can trust you. I can rely on you. When you're able to do that, I can sleep better at night. This is someone I want on my team. You become valuable, right? You become closely guarded. We pour into you, into your success, because the more you know and the better you're able to do, the better you're able to support me, right? The better you're able to support the partner. And so now we start investing in you. Now you're growing. Okay. If a partner is exacting, have some grace. The fact is, if you really took time to step into their shoes, you would understand how much they truly juggle. And let me tell you something, understanding that by itself will make your life easier, because your work requirements won't decrease, their exacting nature and perfectionism won't decrease, but you will understand why they are that way. And you will know that, heck, if I had to do all that and make sure that all those balls were juggled perfectly, and I had that many people expecting of me, I would be exacting in my nature too. I would be demanding too, right? So just by expressing some understanding and empathy for the person who is seeming to be a taskmaster towards you, you will be able to move out of defensive and into partnership with them. They will feel that change in vibe. They will feel that change in vibe, and you will have a more rewarding work life. Not just because you'll feel better, but because when they feel that change in vibe, their stance towards you changes. They trust you more. They rely on you more. They start to see you more like a companion on this road, as opposed to a donkey that they have to beat to get to do the work. I know. I know, what an example, right? But that's really the difference. It really does feel that way when you're a boss. If you ever have to manage one or two or a group of individuals to get a work product complete, you're going to understand exactly what I'm describing to you right now. If you're speaking to a smaller firm owner, even a medium-sized firm owner, they've got a lot going on. They're doing legal work plus managing a whole office and everything that it entails. Maybe they're also in charge of drumming up business. Just expressing that you understand, like in the middle of your sentence, you're saying, yeah. And as a firm owner, I'm sure you have both, drumming up business plus managing a whole office, and then your own legal work on top of that, and so you keep talking. But when you throw that in there, it makes it apparent that this person gets it. This person gets it, right? And you're able to establish that I think he or she will be a good partner on this journey. I think this person's going to jump in and pull together with the team here. They get it. That is a huge benefit. And if you could convey that you would take ownership of your job, not wait for them to show you how to do something, not wait for them to tell you what should go next, but you will take the time to fast forward the tape and see what needs to be done and then offer to do it. Or you will take the time to go sign up for a CLE and do it on the spot, even though CLEs aren't due for another 2 years. But you will go and do it because you need that information to help you with this particular case that they've given you. Yeah, you got the memo done, but you know that there are other tasks on this case that are going to need to be completed before the case is completed. And you want to be able to help more on this. So you go and you grab yourself your CLE and you study, right? Or whatever it is that you need to do to contribute to the effort. If you are that person who owns your job in that way, right? Who takes initiative to go learn, who goes to court and sits in on trials. Now, you may not have the time or space to do that, but maybe you pop in a tape or something. Or again, you go grab a CLE, right? But when you are the person who takes charge of your career, who takes ownership of the case that's in front of you, not just the little task that's in front of you, but the entire case, when you are that person, it shows. It will be exuded in that interview, right? And in that, you show your value despite maybe lacking some experience, because you went to law school and you graduated. You know how to ask questions, you know how to research, you know how to run down the case law on something, you know how to admit, hopefully, when you're stuck and need help. This is what creates a good junior associate, even if you don't have experience, right? Finally, you need to be someone of resilience, someone who, when they're interviewing you, they can tell that you are not someone to back down, that you will figure out what it takes. This tip is especially beneficial to the person who is not only an inexperienced lawyer, but who is finally getting a new law job after years of struggling with the bar exam. The thing that you can draw out of that experience, if you can, maybe you don't address years of struggling with the bar exam head on. Chances are your employer will probably gloss over that too. It is a very common circumstance today, believe it or not. But to capitalize on that without directly addressing it is to just allude to the fact that you are resilient, you've got stick-to-itiveness. Getting unexpected results or failing at something is not going to derail you from your goal. If your first product wasn't as magnificent as you thought it was, you thrive off of finding out how to perfect it. I want to know how to perfect my work, right? I pour over my work looking for the ways that I can improve it for the next time that I'm asked to do something like this, right? Unexpected results or disappointments don't throw me off track. I'm a master at picking myself up, putting the pieces back together, and moving forward. Everyone knows that this is an essential skill of an attorney. And nobody has time to hold your hand and make you feel better and give you a pep talk when you get something wrong. Moreover, if they need to tell you directly, hey, listen, this work is not good. You really need to go back to the drawing board and redo this. And now you got to get it done and back to me in less than 5 hours because I've got to go. They need to know that they can be able to be direct and ask you for what they need without walking on eggshells around your feelings. If something's not good, you are happy to find out how you can make it better and go back and make it better. And you're not going to sit there in the pool of despondency, and despair, bemoaning your fate and feeling really, really sad because you didn't get the gold star on the top of your paper. We don't have time for that. And so, if you can allude to you being a person of resilience, someone who's able to bounce back and easily at that, someone who won't quit till you get the prize. This is a very valuable trait. It's one that is needed in someone who is just learning. I'll do whatever it takes to study, brush up, learn, and do better, and improve my skill every day. Tell me that you get hired. So if you've been feeling kind of discouraged because you don't know what you have to offer to that law firm that you really, really desire to work for, they know you don't have experience. They're hiring inexperienced people all the time. What they need to know is that you will take responsibility for your work, you will make life easier for them, and that you will do whatever it takes to get the job done. When they know this, they can trust that even if you don't know the subject matter, they can trust your character and your sense of responsibility to get work done. And that's all they have from you right now until you shore up your knowledge, right? And you get some experience under your belt and are able to present that pretty platter of experience plus character. Now you're cooking.